Gods of fire tend to be volatile, but the weight of wrathfully destroying his believer's island taught Xiphal to be calm. Recently, one monarch captured after a battle experienced a similar revelation, so now he can patiently wait to be liberated. But will the operation succeed? This will be decided by you, the viewers. According to the legend, Xiphal believers once inhabited a beautiful island in the north. It was a paradise created especially for the chosen nation by their god. But everything fell apart when more and more people started worshipping false idols. Xiphal could not allow this. Even though his symbol is fire, in fury he destroyed the island by covering it in his hated elements, snow and ice. He left just a little bit of space for his loyal believers. But he hadn't thought it through, so his people were stuck on infertile land with little to eat and vast plains of snow all around. Xiphal was frustrated. He realized it was all his fault. While he only wanted to get rid of heathens, he hurt his own people. The realization led to a serious character development. Xiphal became calmer, more thoughtful, and most importantly, decided to make amends for his mistakes. At first, he just wanted to revert the island to its previous glorious state, but his age-old rival, Blenderkit, has already shattered his plan. He is the perfect opposite of Xiphal, devious, evil, and after recent events, extremely wrathful. When he learned that Xiphal wanted to fix his mistake, he activated the island's volcanoes and after the magma cooled, covered the land in another layer of ice. With no time to waste and unfathomable divine rules limiting him, the god of fire did what he could. He led his nation south, parting the ocean and allowing them safe passage. They arrived at a distant land, a refuge safe and untouched by all the ruin. This is the foundational legend of the Xiphal believers. As such, rage is considered a sin and a sign of immaturity. But some people in power ignore the religion's wisdom. Orwar, the king of Chokargoin, is known as a tyrant and an impulsive man. Many of his servants have been jailed for minor mistakes, and as the local religious head, has actively suppressed minorities, even though most Xiphal clergy tolerate other monotheist faiths, viewing them as believing in the right god in the wrong clothing. He has often forced harsh sentences for people from minority religions, often burning them at the stake. His name means justice, but ironically, he has not concerned himself with fair judgment. It has only been a measure to increase his control. For him, fear has been a tool for efficient governance. Meanwhile, beyond the western border, the majority religion is Bilhat. The fragmented region is being unified by the duchy of Waskorlina. Its duke, Mesuchu, is a competent leader who conquered several neighboring duchies. Some of them were majority Bilhat, but in some, Xiphal belief dominates the landscape. So, the duke granted religious freedom to all peoples, a very controversial thing for the Westerners who don't tolerate infidels. The clergy wasn't content, and one important scholar sent a letter to a distant religious university. The duke's oldest son was studying here, aiming to become a man of virtue. The rector, worried by the duke's religious tolerance, sent him a letter, saying that only if he introduces religious schools to gradually convert the heathens can his son continue his education. If the duke's son was expelled from the most prestigious university, it would really harm the legitimacy of the ruler and risk the loyalty of the western parts of the country. Backed into a corner, not wanting to risk his legitimacy, the Duke agreed, hoping that the schools wouldn't be seen as violating the religious tolerance of eastern regions. But he was wrong. Even before the first scholar set foot in the east, an infidel city on the eastern border rebelled. Aware that the eastern states had their own issues, they sent a letter to a southern power, Chokargoin, asking for help in their religious rebellion. Orwar gladly accepted, wishing to end the rising western power and become the liberator of Xiphal followers. To safely reach the coast, the king first needed to secure a logistical route on the river. But another city stood in the way. The impatient ruler took the fastest option. His army created siege ladders and he ordered them to storm the city, regardless of the casualties. Then he continued his march north. Their pace surprised the besiegers, but they were ready with their own fortifications, protecting their camp from both sides. The relief force plan was simple: attack the weak spot of the defenses together with the city garrison, and then flank and destroy the remaining units. With a slight numerical advantage, the task shouldn't have been too hard, but after hours the defenses still weren't breached. The king was furious. To guarantee victory, he decided to take some of his men and rush east, planning to force the besiegers to stretch their formation. His general tried to dissuade the king, but he didn't listen. The attack went horribly wrong, since the defenses in the east were stronger. The king's unit suffered substantial losses and the king was captured. Seeing the army losing ground, the general ordered a retreat. Back home, during the ruler's absence, his son temporarily took power. Having heard of the general's order, being equally wrathful as his father, the son decided to fire the commander on the spot and take the army himself. He wished to catch the army and rescue his father, but it was too late. Such a high-value prisoner was immediately transferred to the capital. There was a special, guarded palace for such guests. Also, since his country was younger and weaker, Duke Mesutru had been trying to convince the prisoner to negotiate, certain that a longer war wouldn't be beneficial to Vaskorlina. But Orwar wasn't cooperative and even tried to escape, so he was put in the palace jail. There, the king had a lot of time for contemplation. Eventually, he experienced a revelation. Maybe it was all the fault of his hot temper? Had he not spontaneously charged, would the formation have broken through the enemy lines? He felt the great Xipal enlightening him. After a month, he agreed to negotiate with Mesutru. "We may play Aurinko while we speak," suggested the host. The prisoner, not liking the game, was hesitant. "You, folk of the West, really like this game, huh?" "Yeah, it is a noble exercise for the mind, and a teacher of patience," said the host with a devious smile. Angry Orwar managed to hold his horses and just sat at the table. The game wasn't going great. Playing Aurinko was standard for the Bilhat elites, with the universities even using it to teach students strategic thinking. But in the East, the old game was just a novelty, so there was a gap in experience between the opponents, and the negotiations seemed more like demands of Mesutru put into nice words. Not only did he demand huge ransom, he also wanted land and to secure the tolerance of Bilhat followers inside Chokargoin. The prisoner tried to listen to them carefully and calmly and promised to think about them. Meanwhile, in the east, the Spymaster informed the temporary ruler that the king is in the capital. "Then take care of it," said the furious regent. "But my lord, this is nearly impossible. You've got this, you're the Spymaster." The agent, having no other choice, had to make a plan. He came up with several options, but if any of them succeeds will be decided by you. Should the king or his son be forced to agree on the Vaskorlinan demands, or should the king be freed? Vote in the poll in the description and write in the comments. That's community world building.